It is that I have become old for this, and this is a young man's game. In fact, if I wanted to follow my dreams now, if I wanted to create a legacy, then I have become so old now. I wished I was younger. So you see, everything in life, I owe it to that one single thing, is that I listened to my heart. I listened to my inner calling, and I did not listen to other people's opinions, what everyone else had to say. I'm super glad that I never listened to any person's opinions, but rather I followed my own deepest heart. And over this time, I've learned a lot of things about many different aspects. And that's exactly what I wanted to share with you. You can ask any questions as you want. And honestly, I have come here with this one whole thing that I don't want to end this call at this 9 p.m. or, I'm having a timer running around here where I have to finish this. And at the end of the session, you can ask as many questions as you want, and I will answer it to my fullest. All right. So I want to know how many of you are here going to be with me till the very end. Comment in I if you're going to be with me here till the very end. Yes. I. Beautiful. Superb. Thank you so much. So I can see that 67 of you are here, 65, 66 in fact, excluding me. And let's see how many of you are going to actually be here till the very end. Superb. So the very first thing that I remember, and I remember this from my childhood, is that ever since I was a child, I've always had this feeling, this experience, this inner sense that I am meant for something great. How many of you have experienced this in life, that you have this inner nudge telling you that you are meant for something great, that you are not meant to be living an ordinary mediocre life, and that you have the potential to create something fantastic. I mean, you might not know what it is. You might not exactly even know whether is it that you want to do a job, whether you want to do a business, or whatever it is. You would not be knowing what your talents or anything is, but this somewhat maybe this inner nudge that, hey, if I put my heart and soul onto something, I can become really good at it. I can become extraordinary at it. And in fact, I can impact a lot of lives. Yes. So ever since I can remember, I've always had this nudge inside me. And I would often look at the methods in which most people would tell me most of the things that I need to be doing, and it never worked on me. In fact, if you look at the way most people tell that you should be living your life, and this is exactly what you should be doing, it is going to look something like this. You're born, you play with toys until you're 5 years old, and probably after that you start going into preschool. Then school one starts setting in. You're supposed to study, get A+ in all subjects in school. From school, why get A+ in all subjects? So that you can go to a best college. Why go to college? So that you can get campus placement, get a job in that. And why go to a job? You can go to a job so that you can work your ass off your entire life. It doesn't matter if you're unhappy. It doesn't matter if you're dissatisfied. What matters is job security. You're supposed to work hard. You're supposed to, before you even complete 2-3 years working, you're supposed to get married right immediately. And even before 2 years now, you're immediately supposed to have a child. If you don't have a child, then something is wrong with you. And then the same process you repeat with the same repeat again and again and again. According to most people, it does not matter whether you're happy or whether you're unhappy. It does not matter what is it that you do. All matters is that you stick to certain rules that are somewhat thought that it is written somewhere. For some reason, I never connected with it. In school, I was not just the bad student. I was the student who would go show up late for the class, and I would have to sit in the front bench, and in the front bench sleep, because it never made any sense for me. Like, why am I even spending my time in school? It never made any sense for me. I wanted to be the outlaw. I wanted to be the person who would eventually run out, who would eventually want to run out of the system and create something for themselves. Now, I discovered this through dancing. I remember around the age 14 or 15, I watched the Step Up films. I fell in love with dancing and I wanted to become a break dancer. Fortunately, I found a very good teacher who helped me with dancing. And I practiced really, really hard for it. Over the time, I became pretty good. I became pretty good at dancing. And I was on a level I was able to perform at college fests. In fact, I was able to perform at college fests. This is me from a college this is me from a college fest when I performed solo. I was more like a solo dancer kind. And I would go all into it. In fact, I had even gone with my then dance teacher, teaching in many, many different places. Many people ridiculed me for dancing. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to get with dancing? Dancers don't get any money. Look at your cousin. She became a doctor. Look at them. They became an engineer. I just wanted to dance. It didn't matter what anyone said. This is all I wanted to do. In fact, one particular time I remember that I was sleeping in entrance coaching center. They asked me, you need to get out. So they asked me that why are you sleeping here? I woke up and I said, see, sir, I'm anyways not interested in this. I was sent here by force. I want to become a dancer. So you stop wasting time thinking about me. You focus on others who are studying. The teacher got angry naturally and asked me to go out. I happily went out and I spent that time dancing in there was a common area where I found space and I was very happy there. This is all I cared for. How many of you have a burning passion, a love, an incredible love towards something, and it doesn't matter what others said? It doesn't matter whether anyone made fun of you or someone thought you're weird. You have an unquenching passion towards something. You feel passionate for something. It might not have been fully that intense. It could have been something like, hey, you have an interest, you love something, and maybe some people are judging you for it. Some people think you are a little weird. But I know that I am different. Yes. How many of you are here with this feeling? I don't see half of you here. Jaspal, Vikas, Albert, Vani. I want to see how many of you are connecting with me and raising your hands, because I know you guys are the ones whom I'm really able to connect with. Yes, Flora, Rupsa, Mrinalini, I see you. Yes. So a lot of time, what happens is that we drown out this inner voice, this inner calling that we have. We listen to what other people say. We take on other people's opinions. We listen to what we should be doing, right? We listen to what we should be doing rather than what we know what we want to be doing. Well, many of you might have already followed a certain path. You already are doing a job. And after a while, many of you realize that, hey, this is not what I want to be doing. Now your heart is desiring for something more. More than 60-70% of people I talk to tell me this, that I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I've been working, but now I know that this is not what I really want to do. I am interested in this. I'm interested in healing. I love to talk about relationships. I love content creation. I love art. And I want to do something with it. This is not what I want to be known. Or maybe some of you here are like, I'm just a homemaker, but that is not who I am. I have a calling. I have a strength. Everyone here would be feeling a certain pull towards that you just cannot resist. Yes. I was fortunate enough that I went in it with all my heart, without And although I'm not a dancer now, I have absolutely no regrets with it. Well, after school, college happened. And when college happened, I chose architecture because I thought that I was also interested in a little bit of drawing. I thought, let me see if I can make something with it. There wasn't a hip hop university where I could become a break dancer. So I had to go with the next best option because I thought, okay, that's what architecture do. Well, 2 years into architecture, I realized that this is not what I want to be doing. I fell into an existential crisis. So what did I do? I started exploring other means. I was trying out dancing in this meantime, but I realized after a while that this is not what I really want to do. I was starting to lose interest in dancing. I no longer felt a connect with that calling, and I realized that I needed to change. Many of us in life face such circumstances where probably you did something, you thought that is it that you wanted to be doing. Maybe you wanted to become a veterinarian doctor. You went all ahead into it. And maybe after a few years into career, you realize that this is not what I want to do. I want to do something else. Or maybe sometimes in college, you realize that the path that you chose is not what you should be doing. I'm not audible. Uh, am I not audible enough? Or that my volume was loud and clear. Hello. Yeah. Can all hear me? Yes. So I fell into an entire a stage of complete existential crisis. I needed an outlet, so I started going all into art. It is at this time during the college years, 2000, which is around 2016, 2017, that I made some of my most beautiful drawings ever. I had explored different mediums. In fact, I made a lot of solo travels, low budget. Many of us feel like if we have to travel, we have to travel, we want to become wanderlust, and we stop ourselves. We tell that we don't have company. We tell ourselves that we don't have money, we don't have time, right? What is that reason why you prevented yourself making that trip that you wanted to go? Comment in here. Tell me, is it because you're afraid that you have to go by yourself? Is it afraid that you have to you have to convince others? Is it because responsibility is not allowed? Yes. Or many of you have this worry about that. Yeah, safety, right? Finance. Yes, finance is a big thing. I don't have time, right? One thing I realized over this time is that you don't need much to travel. Now, if I had to travel, I would have to book hotels in advance. I would have to book trains, and I would also have to look after Sanchari, and we have to ensure that everything is taken care of now. But back then, I realized one thing, that if you are a person who likes being by themselves, life can be absolutely amazing. Many of us always find a constant need to have company. We find a need that we need a lot of friends. We need a travel buddies. We need a squad, or we have an endless need to have a company because we somewhat feel lonely from within. And it's very unfortunate, because if we are feeling bored and if we are feeling lonely from within, the emptiness that we feel from within, we cannot take it away, remove it by bringing in another person. And this is the number one reason why a lot of relationships fail, because one lonely person attracts another lonely person, and then two lonely people are trying to entertain each other, but it never works. In fact, only a person who is happy and who is content with themselves can also become a great partner. We always tell this to people who say that I'm not finding the right partner for me, I'm not finding the right partner. Build yourself, become the best version of you, and then the right partner is going to be attracted to you. How many of you agree with me on this? You attract your vibe. If you are needy, if you are bored, and out of that state of desperation, you are looking out for a partner, you're going to attract a person that matches that frequency. On the other hand, if you are content, if you are full and passionate, and you are working on yourself, you attract a person who's going to match with that version of yours, with that frequency. And that is what we all want in life, right? So please stop taking permission from anyone else before you having to follow your dreams. Solo traveling back then was one thing I totally enjoyed. So I just packed my bag, I left, and fortunately at that time, everyone around me were very helpful. In fact, people were so helpful that wherever I traveled, I got free hitchhike. People brought me free food, and things always have worked out in the favor. We need to have a trust in the universe that things are going to work for us. We are very often fed with a lot of negativity through news, through social media consumption, and there is a lot of anger, hatred, and violence. If you, in fact, open social media or check the news, you're going to see that there are a lot of angry people, a lot of angry comments, and everyone is just angry all the time. And we somewhat have this negative feeling, negative viewpoint towards the world that it is all against us, that we are, it's a very dangerous place and we need to protect ourselves, we need to close ourselves. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm telling you, everyone is here because of a reason. Have been brought to this existence by this universe because you are all needed. If you truly feel this for yourself, then there is no longer any feeling of unworthiness, which many of us go through at certain times. There is absolutely no need to feel that you are unworthy or you're not enough, because you are an integral part of universe. If you have this trust, you're going to see how much life is going to start working in favor of you. Yes? How many of you agree this? So this coming weekend, we are going to be doing a complete boot camp for aspiring people, people who are passionate and people who believe that life is going to work for them in their favor. We call it Elevate, and it's a 2-day event that we are doing for aspiring people. It's completely for free, complete 2-day experience. Saturday, Sunday, we're going to help you work on your values. We're going to help you define the skills, the habits that you want to build. We are going to be working on your brand, communication. In fact, many of you want to come show up in front of the camera and talk, but you're feeling super camera shy. And Elevate is completely designed so that you can overcome everything. You can become the camera confident person. You can become a person who knows their values and who knows their brand. It's a complete 2-day experience, and it's happening this Saturday, Sunday. We are having the orientation tomorrow. And Surya, can you drop the link? We'll be closing the registrations. Yes. So Surya will be dropping the link in the chat. Do click in and register. It's completely for free, and we'll be closing in the registrations by tomorrow afternoon because we are having the orientation in the evening. Now, when you start seeing that life is working for you, a lot of wonderful things starts to happen. People, in fact, many places paid for my meals. I had many amazing, beautiful experiences, made a lot of great friends, and had a lot of beautiful experiences. over this time, I read a lot of different books. And most of what I know, most of what I learned over this time had developed over this time through simply following what at each point my heart yearned to do. That's an amazing feeling of empowerment if you truly have it. This is a sketch that I had made of myself when I was age 21. I was thanking the existence for giving me this life. This is a drawing that I had made in between that time. So in fact, now looking back at it, I in fact found my soulmate, who exactly a girl who has flowers on her hair. I never knew this would happen when I made this drawing. Life starts working for you. And over this time, as I tried different things, after a while, I realized that in order for me to truly create something meaningful, I can't just keep hopping on from one thing to another, following just what my feelings said I wanted to be doing. My greatest weakness then at that time, and many of you are going to relate to this, that I start a lot of things, I become interested, and in Malayalam we call it Aramba Shuratham. That means you're very much in when you start, but you're never able to complete it. You start a lot of projects, you never move on with it. And after a while, you start losing your confidence in yourself. How many of you are in this place with me? Yes, me. Comment in me if this sounds like you. You are interested in a lot of things. You are trying a few things here and there. You're taking a lot of free courses, 99 rupees courses, 199 classes. Maybe you're even paying for a few 5,000, 8,000 courses. But you're not able to implement anything. You have set New Year resolutions, but the health goals never happen. You have said that you have promised yourself that you're going to work on that passion project, you're going to write that book, you're going to launch that course, you're going to create your social media. This year, 1 year happens, 1 year moves on, but nothing happens. How many of you are in this place? Me. Yes. And this is exactly where I was this is exactly where I was back then. I realized at that time through a certain book that I read at that time called the 5 a.m. Club. It's from Robin Sharma, which spoke about the importance of a morning routine. Trust me, my life never remained the same after that. The number one reason why many of us fail in implementing the things that we tell ourselves is that first, we actually don't make a plan for ourselves. Those are just surface level statements that we tell. Number two is, even if we make a plan, there is no structure to our life. There is a lot of chaos. There is a lot of things that are happening. We are very busy people, but we are never truly productive people. And it is very important to understand the difference between being busy versus being productive. Listen to this carefully, because this is going to be a wow moment for many of you, that we are doing a lot of things, filling our calendar, filling our stuff with to-do lists, or trying to be occupied all the time, thinking that being busy, we are going to do something. But being truly productive means you're doing a few things, but you're doing them well. You're doing them consistently enough so that you're seeing results. See, you create a diet and fitness plan, but you stay consistent with it long enough to see visible changes in the body. Or if you are not able to understand, you modify your approach and you start working on it again. it means that when you have said you will post on social media, you are staying consistent with it, and you're not just doing it on the surface level. You're really studying it, you're researching it, and you're moving forward with it. And you know the biggest hindrance to this? The biggest hindrance to this is we stand in our own way. We tell ourselves that if I plan my time, if I plan my calendar, if I plan ahead, then I cannot be spontaneous. We tell ourselves that I live in the flow, and if I don't, and I don't want to change this. We keep lying to ourselves that we want this, while this is truly not what we want. What we want at the end of the day is to experience freedom. And when do you experience freedom? When you are doing what you truly want. And when you're not moving in a direction that somewhat life is taking you into. That is true experiencing of freedom. How many of you can understand? How many of you can relate with what I'm saying? Freedom means you are creating a life consciously. You're creating a life which is of your design. And you're not just moving wherever life takes you. In Lifecraft, our mentorship program, the very first thing that we make everyone do is we make them prepare a life book. So what is a life book? Do you have your books in Shari? So what a life book essentially is that you are looking ahead into your life and you are really planning for all the areas that are important in your life. Very few people, in fact, do this. We set vague New Year resolutions and vague goals, but many of us don't really go into what our health and fitness should look like. Many of us don't really go in depth into what are the things that you need to be doing to achieve. We never really set a vision for ourselves. We never really plan the actions for ourselves. We tell ourselves that we want great relationship, that I'm going to share amazing love with my partner. But many of us, but very few, go ahead and really create for themselves what that relationship means for them. What are their foundational beliefs around relationships? Because if you are a person who fundamentally believes that your partner is eventually going to cheat you, then men cannot be trusted, then you are never going to have a great relationship with a partner. Am I correct? If you are a person who fundamentally believe that I cannot make money if I make, it is not going to stay with me, then you are never going to find a motivation. I'm never going to find a motivation to work on it again. No, Jaspal, if you already joined and registered in for Elevate Object, no problem. You can please make sure you come in. Set this as a reminder to come for tomorrow's orientation and for the Elevate on Saturday and Sunday. All right? Yes. So this entire life journey, rather than creating it by accident, we have to create our life by design. All our students, and it is not just me and Sanchari who do it, all our students who come into our mentorship program, they all eventually work on their life design. Just giving this time to load. They work on their premise around health and fitness. They work around their premise around career. They work around each one of these single aspects. And I cannot tell you and I cannot stress on how important this is. Because when you have something like this, by the way, this is Sanchari's book. I mean, hers is a work of art. It is not just that it's a very visionary. It is just that this is absolutely insanely beautiful. We have designed our own life book with a template and a lot of questions and answers that you can do. And this entire soul book, you'll be getting it tomorrow when you come in for the orientation at 8 p.m. So you see, how many of you would love to create a life design like this, where you're creating a life by design and not you're going in a life by accident? Say I. Yes. So this vision, when we have, we would naturally want to build the habits to sustain it. Correct? What is the point of a goal without the necessary steps to really get you there? If your aim is to launch a podcast on sustainability, then you should be a person who consistently researches. You should be a person who consistently records content. You should be a person who's ready to take feedbacks and who's ready to show up regularly, even if there are no viewers, even if people say negative comments. The number one hack I can give you all right now, is start waking up at the same time every day. Start waking up at the same time every day. And if you are already doing that, give yourself an extra 1 hour in the morning before you would typically start the day. The link is not loading. Just try again. Oh, that's okay. I know it's a high octane, high energy session, but I want you all to hydrate. The number one hack which you can all apply in your life right now, and that is going to completely transform your life 360 degree, is if you have a vision for something, or you have an interest and you want to develop it, then start waking up 1 hour earlier than you typically need to. The earlier you can wake up, the better. The reason why this is important is that in the morning hours, there is going to be no one to disturb you. Many of us, right after waking up, we spend our energy taking care of others. We spend it all on others. We spend it on the family. We spend it on our husbands. We spend it, right? You spend it on your kids. You spend it on your in-laws. You spend it on every single person. And we hardly ever take time to think about ourselves. Then we spend it on our boss. And after coming back again, we probably are spending it to, entertainment companies that are charging us money, Netflix, Amazon Prime. We spend a lot of time on others to make others happy and satisfied, but never enough time on ourselves. This morning time, morning 2 hours, if you can manage 2 hours in the morning, nothing like it, is time that you are getting absolutely for yourself. This is a time you can use to meditate. This is the time you can use to reflect. This is the time you can use to journal. I used to journal every single day, and I still continue to journal since 2019. These are some of my first journals that I had written back in thing. My life mission, I had written one day sitting in college in 2 a.m. in this very journal. And let me read out one of the lines that I had written in this. The number one reason people regret is when they had lived their entire lives in a state of hypnosis without any level of awareness. And one day suddenly waking up and having one hard look and not liking it. We always get carried away in the flow of life. That's what the day is. It's a tide that can sweep you away. This morning time is the time I can use to reflect upon it and actively decide the direction which I want to take my life. And that's super powerful, the habit of journaling. Start this tomorrow, your life is never going to remain the same again. Give yourself that time. Another important area that I focused on around this time, also was that I started paying attention to my physical health. I was a very sloppy person, and I was an extremely sloppy person, and I was always down on energy. In fact, I struggled with waking up in the morning. I struggled with staying consistent. I, in fact, struggled with focusing for some time consistently, apart from drawing, of course. When I started working on my fitness journey, I realized the importance of consistency. I realized the importance of showing up. And I started this one area. Working on this one area impacted so many other areas in my life, because physical transformation was a side effect. But apart from that, the real thing is that the habits that I built over this time, such as sleeping consistently, sleeping at the same time, waking up at the same time, eating regular meals, eating good, clean meals. While I was suffering from constant anxiety at that time regarding what I need to be doing, what I need to be doing earlier, a lot of fear and self-doubt, when I started fixing this one area, I started feeling so much more confident. The regularity and consistency that I brought into my life gave me time to do so many other things. And more than everything, when you are exercising, at the end of the day, our body is a chemical soup. Like Sadhguru says it in this way, that our body is a chemical soup. It's a soup of a lot of chemicals. Every mood that we experience at every time, it is because of certain chemicals that are happening at that time. If we are angry, a certain kind of chemical is released. If we are sad, a certain kind of chemical is released. And often how antidepressants work is they release certain substances, certain chemicals into you that can trigger a reaction that can put you in a better mood. Exercising is a natural antidepressant, because you're going to release dopamine, endorphins, and all the beautiful chemicals that you need into your body so that you can feel good about yourself. Many people get angry when they tell me that they are depressed, and I start them to start going to the gym. But this is true. Physical transformation is a different thing, but that's not the priority. If you are taking the time to wake up in the morning, one of the best things that you can do to your life is to use some of that time to exercise, even if it is something as simple as walking for 15 minutes or doing jump rope, skipping for 10 minutes. Anything is fine. But you're going to experience this exuberance. And that energy is going to make you a person who becomes capable of doing so many other things. Exercising was not just the habits that I had built during this time. In fact, over this time, I practiced waking up consistently, regularly. I set aside time to study regularly. I set aside time to create content regularly. Overall, a certain discipline started coming into my life. From being a person who would wake up whenever, who would eat whatever, who would sleep whenever, who would spend the night flirt texting girls till 1 a.m. Right? All of that, I became obsessed about working on myself and became obsessive with this thing. I started sketching during my college times. I had in fact shared about this one aspect earlier, where I started sketching and I would draw obsessively at that time. It is in my nature to go obsessed into something once I just start. So, and it is not just that you start getting a little consistent. You start seeing progress in every area of your life as well. Because right now, my calendar looks like this. And this is actually a pretty free week. In fact, not a very busy week. In fact, it's actually a pretty free week. I make time for everything that I want to do, including family time, including time with Sanchari, including learning time, including work hours, including student time, including training the team time, every single thing. This calendar has given me the freedom to really do it. And after having realized the power of learning this calendar, one of the most important things that we do when someone takes mentorship from us is we ask them to start setting their calendars. We ask them to plan ahead. And as a result, people have got some absolutely fantastic results. Because I cannot tell you the transformation that many people of our current life craft experienced after they just started setting their calendar and planning their to-do list. They had been able to, while they had earlier been struggling with consistency, now they are regularly doing Zumba dances, they are able to eat healthily. While they were earlier constantly feeling overwhelmed, now they plan ahead and get things done. This is the story of Ankita. Ankita is one of the champions of current life craft. She's now building a super confident version of herself and on her way to creating her legacy. She's planned her ideal day. She now wakes up in the morning. She plans her ideal day. She does her Zumba. She does her learning time. She plans a week ahead. She plans her time ahead. And as a result, she gets time for every single thing that she wants to be doing. And Ankita is just one person. Meet Maitri, an architect, who, while earlier her entire life identity would revolve around this, that I am just an architect and I'm not getting enough respect for my job, I'm not getting the freedom to do what I want to do. Now she's aspiring big enough to start her own design consultancy practice. We are yet working with her on creating this, but yet the very fact that she was able to plan ahead, she was able to stay consistent, she was no longer procrastinating, it boosted her confidence to sky high levels. How many of you here are feeling that if only you were consistent, if only you were not procrastinating, and if you only you were not procrastinating, you could do what you want to be doing? Say I. Not hi, I. Yes, if this is you telling that I wished I did not procrastinate so much. I wished I was consistent. If only I got this right, I would do this. If only I want to fulfill my New Year resolutions, I'm not able to implement. Yes, I understand your pain because I had been there. Everything that I am sharing, it's not like something that I've learned from just somewhere outside and I'm just teaching it because it gets money or anything. This is life experiences that I learned over 10 years. Over trial, error, trying a lot of things, failing. In fact, being a miserable failure. In college, I had 32 back papers and 1 year back. To eventually taking a chance and succeeding. Now, by most normal standards, I can call myself a success because I have been able to follow my passion, create a business out of it. Me and Sanchari are getting a unicorn award in this coming week. Unicorn award is like an Oscar for coaches in India. And I found my soulmate who first came in as a student, and now we have become an inseparable part working together. I can say that I am building a team that absolutely connect with my vision. And I have a community of 20,000 students who love what we do. I can call myself success by most normal standards. But it all happened because I was ready to start working on myself with that one consistent step. It's beautiful, right? I mean, this is the first time that I have ever shared so much in this format, and I'm actually connecting everything with how we are training others. It's the very first time that I'm able to share this. Thank you so much, Sansari, for giving me this idea and telling me that this is what I should be doing. She's always a supporting strength. And I can tell you, your partner decides so much in your life. Decides so much in your life. It is so important that you build a great relationship with your partner. If this is an area where you're struggling with, please put all the efforts that you can into having a great relationship with your partner and bringing them on the same page with you. Don't be in a place where you have to justify with them, where you have to argue with them and struggle for you to do what you have to do. Do everything you can to bring them on the same page with you, because they are going to define so much in your life. I cannot even tell you. I am here because they say behind every successful man there is a woman. Behind me there is Sanchari. Super important that you come to the same page with your partner. Let's have some water. Now, when you start fixing a few key areas on your life, one very important area that you are going to be having to work on is that you are able to sit and focus for 2 hours or a minimum 1 hour onto something without distractions. In our life, our attention span has now more and more and more as we go, especially this is true with the younger generation these days. Their attention span has become as short as a goldfish's. The video formats, while earlier the video formats were 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long, now the video formats are the most viral videos that are 8 seconds, 10 seconds, because that is all the attention span is. We constantly crave stimulation. We constantly crave dopamine rush from tools. And while this is extremely true for the younger generations, it is now becoming more even the people who are in their 40s, 50s, we didn't grow up with it. I didn't grow up with it. In fact, most of you didn't see this after probably half your life. But we are also now this is so addictive because the world's best brains are literally given this job to catch your attention as best as they can. That is their job. And everyone is constantly trying to compete for your attention. And as a result, our attention span has become extremely low. One super important thing that we all have to work on is us being able to work continuously in a flow. Us being able to work continuously in a flow. Because if you are able to concentrate and if you are able to focus, then that is a superpower in today's world. We are thinking that it is the shortage of time that is stopping us from doing what we should be doing. But while really it is that we are not valuing the time that we truly have. We have 24 hours, we get it every day, so we tend to squander it. I'll tell you, there is one area in life where you should constantly experience a sense of scarcity. It is time. With time, you should constantly experience a sense of scarcity that I have only this much time. While some of you might call this extreme, for me, just realizing that I might not wake up the next day, that this time is all I have, makes me super grateful for the time that I have. It makes me super grateful for the time that I have. And it makes me, it helps me bring my attention to the present moment. And that matters more than anything. Yes, Niveda, I do give mentorship, and at the end of the session, I'll exactly be telling you how you can also become a part of my mentorship. I will be showing you exactly what others who are currently in my mentorship are doing as well. Thank you so much for asking. So, you all see the superpower that focus can bring to your life? Yes, the superpower of focus, because it is truly a superpower. We offer a lot of co-working sessions for members in our inner community with this aim that we want to teach people how they can focus. We share a special technique called Pomodoro, which is nothing. You can also try it. Basically, you set a timer for 25 minutes and then you work undistracted and focused on it. You turn off the phone, you probably keep the phone on flight mode or keep it away, and you're not looking at distractions, you're not looking at phones, you're not answering calls. If someone else wants your time from home, you ask them, you tell them that you are focusing and not to disturb you. And then you take a 5-minute break, then try and repeat that again. If you do this, if you spend 2 hours like this for 4 days a week, you're probably going to do what most people accomplish by working for 40 hours in a week. It's called Pomodoro. Basically, whenever you're working, set a timer for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. And then in this time period, don't let yourself be distracted at all. Be fully immersed and focused. Don't think of getting more time, but rather think about giving more of your involvement in the time that you have available. That is the whole essence of personal productivity. So we teach Pomodoro and we help people. We teach people how to sit, focus, and people have created some extraordinary work in this time. In fact, when we had to stop it because the elevator is coming and we are now in a different module, people said they're not able to do as much because that's how addictive it gets. That's how difficult. That's how awesome it gets. As I started working consistently, I started seeing results. I started posting more. In fact, I would post more. In fact, I would post with the intent and I would ask people, I would engage a lot with the community back then with the 2,000, 3,000 followers I had. And this is in 2021, 2020. It was at this time that COVID happened. COVID happened and the entire city went into lockdown. So as the entire world went into shutdown, and many people were talking about how they're missing the old times, and they're telling how this is boring and how it's horrible to be stuck. I saw an opportunity coming up. While earlier I had to constantly go write my back papers and exams, I was constantly in this rut where I had to I had to do exams, I would fail, I would do exams, I would fail. I no longer had to go to college. I noticed a person who did a WhatsApp class for 5 days. And this area, from this area, the next half an hour is going to be super valuable for anyone who wants to start something on their own, who has an entrepreneurship idea, who wants to be a creator, who wants to launch a YouTube, who wants to start a podcast, who wants to do something to make their mark in the world. How many of you here are like that? Say I. Yes. How many of you want to leave a legacy behind? I noticed an opportunity here. I saw that one person would invite many people to come for a WhatsApp group. In fact, 100 people would be in the WhatsApp group. And he would charge like very minimal amount, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 100 rupees for it. For 5 days, he would share some knowledge, answer questions in the group. And in the end, he would upsell a bigger program. Upselling simply means at the end of which you're asking them to take a mentorship for a specified amount of time, and that comes at a bigger amount usually. I saw this, I did the math, and I was like, okay, this guy earns 1.5 lakhs in 1 week. If I did complete all my exams, became an architect, and I worked for 18 hours, 6 days a week, I will still not be making as much money. This is interesting. I need to try it. How many of you have seen other coaches do such programs? In fact, you would have seen us at least, hold classes. You would have seen us talk about a mentorship, talk about a programs. In fact, as I am talking about mentorship. I'm talking about how, through working with me, you can transform your life, how you can turn an entire 10-year journey into a matter of 4 months. Right. And at the end of the session, I'm going to tell you how you can also become a part of my mentorship. So you would have seen, if not me, you would have seen someone else hold workshops, hold a webinar, and then share knowledge, share information, and then talk about how they can work more closely with them. I found this to be a very fascinating idea, and I thought, okay, let me try it. While I was scared, I was super scared, and many of you are super scared to try something. I just tried. What am I going to lose? There is nothing I'm going to lose. So on Instagram, I shared a story telling people, hey, I'm starting my personal mentorship program. I shared a carousel photo of my drawings and I told them, I will teach you how to draw like this in 1 month. Are you interested or not? Instagram offers this poll, right? Instagram offers this polling option. You've seen polling option, yes, no. I put yes, no. I had followers at that time because I was consistently posting them, and many people answered yes, many people answered no also. In fact, it was like a 60-40%. And I did the craziest thing after that. I messaged those people who answered yes. I'm still getting goosebumps as I tell this. I messaged those people who answered yes. And I asked them for their phone number. And I asked, hey, if you're really interested, let's connect. I want to explain to you more about the program. I asked for their phone number, which I got. And I called to them and I started cold calling. I took the number and I started cold calling. All of you can do this. You agree? This is a tool that is at your disposal, and it is all available. See, we undervalue the power that we have with social media, with Facebook, with Instagram, and through advertisement. But what we need to understand is that we have the power to communicate with the entire world at our fingertips. At the end of the day, whether you are using that opportunity or not is a different question. Cold calling means you are talking to people whom you don't know, who does not know you, and you're selling them a program. That's called cold calling. Cold audience means people who are cold, as in people who don't know you as well enough. That's it. Okay. So I started doing it. And I'll tell you the craziest thing. I got my first customer like that. I told people, let's connect on a Zoom call. I explained to them the program and I got my first customer. I charged 2,000 rupees for it. I got 3 customers in that first time. In that first attempt, I got 3 customers. I had 3 of the other people I knew I offered for free, and 6,000 rupees, 6 people, 3 of whom I thought for free. I launched my first batch. So in fact, I'm super proud to say that one of my first student, in fact, the first person whom I talked to, Apurva, her Instagram profile is Artsy by Happy. So I taught her how to launch Instagram, how to create her Instagram, and I was her 100th follower. And you know what she does now? So this person for whom I was the 100th follower, teaching her how to make simple posts, making stories, this is her profile now. 16.4K followers. She has much followers than I have. And it's not just about followers. She creates these beautiful mandala work. She holds workshops. She gets international orders. She took to heart the lesson that I gave about consistency. I'm super proud every time I share her story, because this is probably my first person turned out to be a great success story. So you see the power of consistency, what consistency can bring to your life. There's no magic to it. It's consistency. This process that I told you, where you can start posting, where you can start reaching out to your friends. Maybe you can, with the help of someone, you can create a poster. You can reach out to people. You can reach out to your WhatsApp groups. You have maybe a social media and your Facebook groups, and you are telling people, hey, I can help you with this. And you ask people to comment on that post. And then those who comment, you ask for the number, and then you call them and you start telling them to, you start telling them to buy from you. This is within all of your capability. You all agree or not? All of you. See, whether how good you're with it is a different question, but this is a resource that all of you have, right? All of you can make use of this opportunity that is in front of you. Correct? We stop ourselves from doing it because of our fear. We are afraid that what if they say no? We are afraid that what if someone rejects us? We are afraid what if someone says mean things? We are afraid of a lot of things. But I'll tell you what you truly need to be afraid of. What you need to be afraid of is your dreams remaining a dreams and you regretting it later on in life. That is what you should truly be afraid of, nothing else. See, I want you all to hold your finger in front. Hold your finger. Yes, do this, all of you do this. Okay. Yes, so now I want you to look focused just onto the finger. Do you all see the finger? Yes. Can you see what is happening in the background? You can't, right? It's all blurry. You can see the finger clearly, but not the background. Now, I want you to start looking at the background. Start looking at behind the finger. Can you see the finger now? You can see only the background. The finger has become blurred. Yes? This is regarding your purpose and your goals and your passions and your dreams. If you're looking at all the other worries, all the ways it can go wrong, all the things others have told you, all the things others can tell you, you're only going to see it. You will never see the power of this. But if you have that purpose and you hold it in your mind, you will only see this purpose and everything else will seem insignificant. One of the first exercises we do in our mentorship is we tell everyone to start creating their life vision. How many of you feel that this is powerful? Comment in P if this is powerful. This realizing the power of this one thing. Yes. One of the first things that we teach everyone is to start writing their definite life missions. Give me a minute. We tell our students to start writing their purpose on a paper and start reading it out every day, because this is a very powerful exercise that you can do. Very powerful exercise that you can do to truly make this vision a part of your life. And I'm not going to just leave you in a state of motivation. In fact, I'm going to tell you what exactly I did to talk to them, what exactly I spoke with them such that they brought from me as well. Yes? You all, how many of you want to hear that? Yes? How many of you want to hear what I spoke with them so that I convince them that, okay, I can help them? Yes? Listen carefully, because this is going to blow your minds away. Very first thing that I want you to understand is that we are always worried and we are always concerned about what we need to offer, what we can offer, and what we need to do, the right things to say. That whether it is approaching a person whom you always wanted to approach, whether it is talking to a customer, or whether it is even maybe having a logical argument with another person, we are always concerned about the right things to say, that we always get super anxious. And this is especially true when you are selling, because we are afraid of making a mistake. But you can completely turn this around if your entire focus is on understanding what the other person wants. I get a lot of sales calls every day from so many people, so many banks, so many credit cards, so many people, and they all said the same thing. Hi, sir, I want to tell you that you're ready for an EMI offer. I can get this. It's a, it just goes on in a robotic manner, and you really don't want to tell. It's cringe. We also don't want to sound cringe. We want to sound authentic. The very first thing I want you all to do, if you are talking to a customer or a prospective customer, and I want you all to try this. After this session, I want you to try out this this process that I said, where you start waking up in the morning, you start setting habits, you try, you create posters, and you reach out to your groups and you tell people and you start talking to them. If you are inspired, maybe you could start today, or maybe some of you might take time, but this is exactly the process that you need to be doing. Okay, so first I would ask a person, hey, thank you so much for expressing interest. Can you please tell me about yourself? Tell me about your name and what made you say you're interested. And then they would talk about how they loved my art, how they had been following, how they found it very interesting, and they would tell a lot about that. After that, I'll tell, okay, super. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you, then I would ask, what do you want to learn? I mean, how can I help you in this? How many of you are taking notes? How can I help you with this? When I asked, how can I help you with this? Then their natural answer would come about, I want to learn to draw portraits. I want to try to draw people. I want to try human figures. I love nature sketching. I love landscape drawing. I started off teaching drawing. So I love nature sketching. I love this. They would talk about how they love doing these things, but they cannot. But they are not able to follow. The third thing I would ask is, okay, thank you so much. Okay, this is cool. You want to do these things. I do all of these, but I want to know, have you tried learning under someone? Have you tried? Have, have you tried learning under someone earlier? They were like, no, I have not tried. Or maybe some of them would talk about how they have tried and how it has not worked out for them. And after that, I would tell, okay, now only after all of this, then I would talk about how I am going to help them. Because I have spent half the call listening to what they want, then when I don't directly talk about this is what I offer, this is the price. I spoke about how I can help them with respect to the worries that they said. And as a result, every person I spoke to was ready to buy. This is, I am not a naturally charismatic person. I am not an extrovert. How many of you are introverts here? How many introverts? Yes, I am not a very sociable person. I hate networking. Despite all of this, I focused on one thing, and that is connection. That has always worked and that continues to work. So don't fall into the trap that you need to have an attractive personality, you need to be an extrovert or anything. You need to work on your communication. You need to work on your communication, you need to work on your connection. Communication is one of the important topics that we will be talking about in this Elevate. And here we are going to go in depth into understanding the communications that you are telling about talking to yourself. Because if your constant self-talk is that I'm not good enough, I can't talk, and I can't create connections, I am scared, that's how you'll be telling. Once you start fixing on your internal communication, you can start working on your external communication. So we're going to be exploring about intrapersonal communication, talking to the other person, the different styles of communication. Communication and overcoming shyness is a super important skill that you all have to build, and we're going to be going super all into Elevate. If you're not part of it yet, please join in, or if you've already registered, make sure you show up. tomorrow for the orientation and on Saturday for the session. I cannot stress on how much effort we put into making these come out. Yes, thank you so much, Surya, for dropping the link. So I started building this, and the same consistency I applied month after month after month after month. In 1 year, in this way, with no family support, with no funding, with not even through running ads, with help of and through just remaining consistent, I was able to scale from just earning 6,000 rupees in 1 month to earning my first 1 lakh amount in 1 year. And it happened again. It happened because I believed in myself. I set a path and I started working on it consistently. 1 year later, Sanchari came, and since then, our growth has been phenomenal. Now we have systems that are put in place. We have ads that are running continuously. In fact, as you are talking, I would have 20 people already registering in for Elevate, and we have a team member who's specially dedicated to reaching out to people, making sure that everyone is able to follow up with the lessons. We have messages that are set. How many of you had received my calls for the session? How many of you received my calls? Yes. So we use a tool called Wati. We use a tool called Wati to broadcast the messages. We use a tool called Wati to broadcast the messages. We use another tool. We use another tool to send automated text messages, automated calls. So we have all these mechanisms that are put in place so that our work becomes much more efficient, and I am able to spend more time focusing on what I do the best. Many of us are afraid of tech. We are afraid of challenging our limitations and trying out a new tool, a new software. We are afraid of using digital notes. We are scared of trying out a new software. We don't want to buy ChatGPT because we think it's so expensive. We don't want to take a Canva Pro because we don't see spending 700 rupees on getting a Canva Pro premium membership not worth it. We are afraid of tech. But I cannot tell you how important tech is, because once you understand tech, once you start using tech to empower yourself, your life is completely going to transform. Members from our current life craft who have been able to work on that, tech, they have created their calendars, they have created their mind maps, and they have created the calendars, they have created the mind maps. They are now taking digital, they're now taking digital notes, and with everything, they are feeling empowered. They are feeling super empowered. So this is the story of Mithu. She's created a SMART goal. She's worked on her habits. She's created a task board for her life. She's created her life mission. And once you start using tech to your advantage, you can do the work that would take 10 people to do alone by yourself. And that's super empowering. Tech upskill is an area that we pay particular attention to in Lifecraft. And we make sure that everyone understands these tools such as Canva, ChatGPT, and AI. How many of you have used AI? Yes, we all used AI. If you have used it, you would know its power. Because a course that would have typically taken us 2 weeks to create, now we are able to create it in 1 day. It is super powerful. that if you realize its possibilities, you are going to feel like you are a superhuman. You're going to feel like you are a superhero, superheroine, and there are no limitations placed on you, because that's how powerful it is. Tech upskill is an area that we focus on a lot. And once after we learn, once after we understand everything, then we slowly started working on we started slowly changing. We set up a lot of systems in place. We started working on our brands. Working on we started working on every single area, so that now we have everything put in place. This entire journey for me, over the time, I have explained to you a journey that has started with a boy feeling that he can become a great dancer at age 15, at age 16, to a person who is now age 28. It's in fact not 10 years, it's a 12-year journey, a 12-year chronicle that I have covered over in this time, in this short 1.5 hour session. The most important lesson that I learned over in all this while, and the most important, and the lesson that now that I practice and I follow to the core, it is that I don't have to do it all alone. I took great pride in telling that I built it by myself. I'm a one-man army, but I could not be, but that is not how I would think now. You don't have to do it all by yourself. When there are people who have already taken this journey, who have already taken all the pains, who have done all the trial and errors, and now who can make their life easy for you. When I started working with mentors, my life turned around, because what actually happened was constant accelerated growth. Something that from 2023 to 24, a journey that would have taken us 5 years, we went through it in 1 year because of our mentors. And I cannot tell you how the value that a person who can understand your pain, who has been through the journey that you are going through and has seen the light ahead, can bring to your life. Our Indian culture has always been respectful of masters for in this, because of this same reason. Because in Sanskrit, the term guru means the one who takes away darkness. Ru means darkness. Gu, the one who shines light on the darkness. Many of us, as we go through in our life, we feels like we're going through a dark path. We're going through a dense forest, or we are swimming across an ocean where we don't see a gap. How many of you are feeling such a pain right now, where you're trying a lot of things, nothing is working, you're doing this, you're doing that, you've been trying this, that, nothing's working, you're losing your self-esteem, and your mental health is going down? What a mentor can bring is they can shine light and they can tell you, look, this is what you need to do, so that you can save your time and you can get what you want to get in the fastest, shortest time possible. How many of you believe that this is super important in your life? That you all want to achieve what you want to achieve in your shortest possible time. Yes. Because if you actually look at it, the process comes down to understanding a few basic things. It comes down to understanding that in life, essentially, we can look at it in life, in achieving success in any chosen area. It can be broken down into a few basic steps. In fact, it can be broken down into 9 steps, to be precise. The very first thing, like I said, is that you need to undergo a profound personal transformation. You have to understand, you have to build a new identity, you have to build a new habit, you have to support it. From a boy who was inconsistent, who wanted to try a lot of things, I became a person who could build consistent habits and support it. Following that, you start working on your offer. You start working on how to present the offer, how to create the offer. What is it that you need to do? By offer, I mean, what is it that you are going to do? Are you going to write a book? Are you going to do a podcast? Are you going to create a YouTube? If you are doing so, what is it going to be about? Are you going to do consultation? Are you going to do coaching? Are you going to sell a product? What are you going to do? That comes after that. Many people think that if only I had clarity, I could succeed in life. If only I had clarity, I could do what I wanted to do. The real clarity we all have to bring in our life is the clarity of being able to put our mind onto something and focus on it. It is not about trying to understand your niche, going high ticket. It is not about trying to build a course or a funnel or none of that. What the clarity we all have to bring in our personal life is the clarity of being able to focus on one thing and actually achieving it and actually taking it to completion. Then when you have that and you have built your habits and everything, you can start working on upskilling yourself technologically. Many of us are technologically challenged. Many of us are intimidated by tools, and we are super afraid of trying out new things. But once you understand a few basic tech, you're going to realize how your life can truly be powerful. You're going to understand that you have all the resources you already need to succeed. It is not that we need a lot of things. The world we are living in the best times ever possible in humanity. This is a time mankind has worked towards and look forward to and worked towards for thousands of years. Entire humanity has worked so hard to get us till here, but we are taking it for granted. We have at our fingertips all the tools that you need for you to create your legacy, to achieve your dreams. You have everything at your disposal. Only thing you need to understand is you need to learn how to do it, what to use and how to implement it. You go through a technological upskilling. How many of you can see that if you learned some tools, if you upgraded this version of yourself, if you upgraded your knowledge, you could do so much more in life? Yes. And after undergoing a complete technological upskill, that's when we can start working on our niche. That's when we can start working on our offering, and that's when you can really start creating your content, launch your podcast, launch your YouTube, write your books. That's when you can start working across all these different areas. When you have the consistency and the habits and the knowledge to support it, you are going to make sure that the vision that you create, the brand that you build, you're actually going to implement it. As a result of all of this, you're going to start connecting with the right people who want more time from you. They want more products from you. They want more time from you. And just like how I shared, that I used to start putting out my drawings. I used to start talking about my passion. And eventually, when I asked how many of you want to start learning art from me, I had 3 people who wanted to learn. Many of us are afraid of putting ourselves out there. But once we start putting ourselves out there, and you don't need a huge social media following for that, just in your family, in your family group, in your community group, in your Facebook groups, and in all the Rotary Lions Club, all those groups, you start putting yourself out there, you're going to see how much people are more interested in working with you. They want more time from you. They want more of your knowledge. They want more of your resources. And you realize that they have problems which only you can solve. They are seeing up to you as a mentor, as a solution to their problems. And that's a really beautiful place to be in. That's when you find your sales vibe. You learn how to sell. That's when you start offering. And that's when you start adding value to others' lives. You see, it is not very difficult to transform your life. It is not very difficult to reset your life. It is difficult, but it is possible. The fastest way that you can do this, how many of you agree that if you had someone guiding you along in this process, you could actually do this? Say I. If you had someone who was guiding you along, who was there with you throughout, then you could actually do all this. Otherwise, all this sounds neat. It sounds really, elegant. But if I had to do it on my own, it seems very overwhelming. That is exactly the reason why we have created our LifeCraft program. We designed LifeCraft with this whole intention that, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shalmali, Harinda. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much. So that is exactly why we have created the LifeCraft journey. We created this LifeCraft journey so that we can cut short this 10-year journey into a matter of months for you. If you decide to take action, you're going to save 15 years from your life. You're going to save lakhs of amount. You're going to save lakhs of amount, which you would have to try doing trial and errors. If you take action today, you're going to save yourself a lot of mental breakdowns, emotional pain, and trauma. I remember one turning point incident in my life was when during my college times I wanted to launch a brand, and my then best friend told he would help me. He said he sat with me for 3 days. He gave me a lot of plans and ideas, and in the end he asked for 50,000 rupees. He demanded that I pay 50,000 rupees. And this is my then best friend who I spent most of my time with. We ate out of the same plate kind of friends. And we were super close. People always associated us as the friends. There was no talk of payment before. At the end, he wanted payment. And if I didn't do, he would file a lawsuit against me. I got freaked out. But then eventually, of course, I walked out of it. Nothing. I'm here now. So, nothing really happened. But that led me in a very low state. I was going through bouts of anxiety. I had immense periods of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I would have these breakdowns where I would have to punch on walls to let go of the anger. And I've been through an extremely painful phase. I cannot tell you, I am ready to go to any lengths of the world so that I can prevent this happening from others' lives. The number one thing that I learned from this time is honesty. I have to be super honest with my transactions. Because even today, as I was talking to a person, I told them on why they should not join because the program is not for them. They had a different kind of problems, which I realized I can't help them. And she was ready to pay. I could have told her, hey, you come, we will do it. But I told her, no, you don't come. I don't think this is right for you. You need to go to this person. I learned about honesty with that incident. But I cannot tell you to what extent I empathize with all of you, and I want to prevent such things from happening from in your life for you to be seated. So if you take action today, you can save yourself trauma, pain, you can save yourself time, you can save yourself years ahead. You can, and you will understand that your dreams can actually become fulfilled. How many of you are action takers here? How many of you? I want to know how many of you clearly are action takers here, because the rest of the portion is for the action takers. I'm dropping a form here where I'm taking an application to participants for my mentorship program. So typically I offer this after Elevate, but today I'm offering it at a special offer. I'm offering it at a special offer for you. In fact, you will see that for everyone who is registering in today, I'm going to offer it at a price much lower than I'll be offering it after Elevate. I want to work with action takers. I want to work with people who are bold enough to work towards their vision. In my current life craft, I already have 15 action takers, and I have space for 15 more people. I'm sure that I will have more people who would want to join, and I'll have to say no to them. But this could be you. We have Shraddha, we have Sachi, and they are already telling within just 2 weeks of starting out, they're already talking about how transformative being with Soul Grow has been. All these people, all these action takers, because see, you're going to see that in 4 months, it is not me who is going to come and take classes. It is going to be one of these people who's going to come. I wanted to look at each one of their names carefully, because you're going to see them upfront later. You're going to see them come up later, and you're going to see that they are going to put themselves out, that they are going to present, and you can be one of them. I have shared this form, so it's actually quite a little bit, the form is quite detailed. It will take you a while, but this is a time you can use to fulfill it. Anyone who is ready to take action, I only want you people to join in. If you are not ready, then it's okay next time. But if you are, this is for you, right? So I'll be looking into it and I'll see. And trust me, this time we are offering it. I'll disclose the price right away now. The entire program is at 50,000, but for everyone who's joining in today, we are going to be offering it at 35,000. You see it in Elevate, you're going to see that the price is going to increase. You're not going to get it at the same price after this. This is probably the last day we're going to offer it today for 35,000. And besides, for everyone who is taking action today, we will also be registering a ticket for them to come to the Unicorn Summit with us. We are being awarded as Unicorn coaches in Bangalore on May 4th and 5th. And how many of you would love to spend a day with the top coaches in the world? Not just be with us, be inspired with the top coaches around the country. How many of you would love to be in that environment? We are going to... The form link, I've shared the form link. Surya, can you share the form link in the April Fest group? Share the form link in the April Fest group as well, okay? April Fest group, Chakra group, and other groups as well. So this Unicorn Summit, typically if you had to book a ticket and go, it would cost you anywhere from around 6,500 rupees to 2.5 lakhs. And we are going to bring you into that same room if you take action today. People ask us, why are we doing this? People ask us, why are we doing this? Because see, we don't mind that if we are offering, in a 35,000 rupees program, we have to spend 6,000 on you. We have to spend 6,000. We really don't mind. We are ready to take on that because we want to empower you. Everyone asks us, why are we doing this? Why can't you keep the money for yourself? But we want to empower you. So for everyone who's taking action today, you're going to avail Lifecraft. You're going to avail this. You're going to get an opportunity to work with me and turn your dreams into reality. And all of this is going to be available just at the price of 35,000 rupees. So, of course, don't worry about the payment terms and all that. We can discuss all that later. We avail flexible plans, EMI plans, and all that. Don't worry about that. Just give me a minute. Guys. So I want you all to start filling your forms. Sanchari is telling me to drink some water. She's like, why are you not drinking water? I'm not drinking water. She's been trying to get my attention for some time. So please drink water, guys. Because in Elevate, if you are seeing this, this is going to be at 40,000 rupees. And you're not going to get it at the same, you're never going to get it again at 35K. Right? So for everyone who's here, this is for you. Now, as you fill the form, I want to listen to you. I want to understand your questions, your doubts, and every single thing that you wanted to ask. The rest of this is for you. You can ask me pretty much ask me anything. I saw a lot of questions in the chat box earlier, but please, you can ask them again, and I would love to answer your questions. The rest of it is for you. Please, if you feel like I should talk more about something else, you want to know about something else, you have doubts and questions that you want to do, then this is your chance to ask. All right, so I will give you all permission to unmute. This is for you. Yes. Who wants to go? Sriman says, I wish I could be there, though it's a great initiative. Why wish? Start taking action. Thank you so much, Javeria. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's very inspiring to know how you were consistent and courageous enough to follow your dreams and not giving up. Thank you so much and gratitude. I want to tell you that this is within the capacity of all of you. It's not something like only I can do it. What is the Lifecraft journey? The Lifecraft journey is an entire journey that we have created for you so that you can turn your dreams into a reality. It does not have to take 5 years. It does not have to take 10 years. Everything that I thought I could achieve by the time I turned 40, I'm 28 and I have been able to achieve it. And even if you are at a point in life where you feel like I have become too old or I can't, do this, I'm 40, I'm 50, then why wait any further? If you are thinking that I am too old for this, people, when someone turns 70, they would wish that they were 50. If you are 50 and you think that you wished you were 30 or 20, this is the time to take action. Because when you are 70, you would wish you had started 20 years back. And if you realize at age 90, it's too late. I'm sorry, it's already too late. Yes. What would you suggest someone who's on the verge of giving up everything, who cannot smile a single day from heart? So here I want you to understand one thing, that there are many things that are at play here. I do not have the exact context to your life, or whether you're talking about you or a friend of yours who's going through a very low stage in life. I don't know that. I don't have any context, but your feeling low can happen because of circumstances not working up in your favor. It could be because of past failures, could be because of past heartbreaks, breakups, and all of that. What I want to tell you is that stop paying attention to everything. Stop thinking that you are a victim of life. Stop feeling like life has been working against you and start seeing it from this point that life is working for you. This will make you more attentive to the present moment, that the what you can do right now. If we are always worried about what has happened and what could happen, we are losing control on the one thing which we have right now, which is this moment. I want you to start paying attention to this moment and what is within your capability right now. Right? How much time commitment does this program require on a daily basis? I have my MSc exams in June. So Flora, the thing is that if you have exams, then exams would require, I don't know the level of commitment MSc exams would require, but I think it would require a lot.
Yeah.
It would be, this program would require a lot of commitment. This program would require a lot of commitment, because it's not like, see, many people ask us how many master classes do you have, what are the number of classes, what are the timing of the classes. But this is not about the number of master classes. I will be explaining to you the entire program structure, number of classes, hours and everything. After you fill the form, we will get on a separate call and I will explain to you the entire journey. But the real challenge is not the number of classes. The real challenge is your involvement after the classes. You will have to spend time every day, minimum 2 hours doing the tasks. You'll have to follow up with the assignments we give. You'll have to actually implement, because this is not a course. This is an implementation program. You are seeing how people are creating their calendars, how people are creating the habit trackers and to-do lists. That it's a doing program. It's not a lot of knowledge that I'm going to give. It is an implementation. And members who are part of the current life craft will tell you that every day I'm behind them asking them to do the tasks. So this will require time commitment. And if you have MSc exams, I would say my recommendation would be to pay attention to the exams and then come back after that. Right? Yes. Yes, Rohan, this is true. You are going through the same journey that I had been through all this while. Okay, so the first thing I want you to understand is that this is an implementation program and this is not a learning program. Second important thing that I want you to understand is that what we are going to be working along is a journey that is curated so that you do the things that are most important and what truly are necessary, because we can do a lot of things. I'll be dropping the form once again in the chat for everyone, and you can also find it in the WhatsApp group. Surya would have shared it already. Another thing I want you to understand is that this is a curated journey so that you do what is most important and only what is most important. The most important area that we'll be working on here is we are going to be working on your consistency. You're going to be working on your ability to follow up with things. That is the most important skill that you're going to be building here. Yes, we will be learning about branding. Sanchar will be guiding you with branding. We'll be helping you with creating your offer, creating your course. We'll be helping you with creating content for your podcast, for your book. We'll be showing you how you can do your WhatsApp class. We'll be showing you all of that. But the most important skill that you're going to be building in this time is the ability to stay self-accountable, because I have tried it all. I spoke with a person today who was telling that she's part of a challenge where she has to pay 500 rupees to a person one day if she fails in staying consistent with one thing. Believe it or not, these are techniques that people do. They get an accountability partner and they feel like they have to pay to an accountability partner. I'll be showing you how you can be self-accountable. By the way, all of you, please turn on your cameras, guys. All of you turn on your cameras. Stable guys, strong minds, and great action takers. Yes. All right. That's the most important skill that you will be building. Okay. Yes. I want to know how many, want to know how many, I want to know the questions that you have. Thing. Now, a group of you might be thinking, oh no, this is so expensive, and 35,000, it is so much. Some of you, I know many of you don't, some of you don't think that way, but there are many of you who also think that, oh, that should I invest into it? Should I, is it worth it? Should I invest in online courses? So first thing is, this is not a course. I want you to understand this is guided implementation. Second important thing is, thank you so much. Second important thing I want you to understand is that the greatest investment you can make is investment towards yourself. Would you rather see, if I could give you a trade-off between 35,000 rupees versus 10 years of your life, what would you choose? Let's say I had some magic power, and by telling you that you I will charge you X amount, I'll charge you I'll charge you 35,000, and I'm going to give you 10 extra years into your life. How many of you think that's a great deal? That's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm adding 10 years into your life. So if you are thinking that this is very expensive, it is an investment you're making towards your life, so that you are really doing what you want to be doing. And that's like the most important, that's like the best gift you can give for yourself, the most important thing you need in your life. And there is, in fact, it is priceless. This price is only going to be available today, and we will be continuously increasing the prices. The first edition of Livecraft was much, it was at 20,000, and over time we will be increasing the price later, but this you'll only be getting it today. Yes, so I want to hear it from you. Questions. If there are no questions, feel free to ask me about anything. You can you can know about what happens after you get your first 10. After I got my first 10 people, thank you so much for asking. So after I got my first 10 people, I realized that I need to get another 10. I need to get more people. So I started putting more practices. I started doing consistently the practices that work for me. But one very important thing that I realized over the time is the same thing that worked for me 2 years back will not work for me now. And the same things that are working for me now will not work for me 5 years here on. I used to get participants into my program earlier through Instagram stories and through WhatsApp statuses, but I no longer work. After a while, I learned about ads. I started to work with an agency, and we ran ads, and we learned about how that technological aspect of it works. I learned about financing. I learned about accounting. I realized that I had to upskill in this direction in order to grow. So one thing that I want you to understand is that things that are working for you now will not essentially work for you later. I tried different methods for months, and nothing worked until one person suggested me that I work with an agency, and he showed me how this entire process worked. That's when I became aware that, oh, this is actually working. So with that suggestion from that friend, I actually saved many years of my life. And that is the most important perspective I all want you to have in your life, is that your time is the most valuable resource. It is not replenishable. Every other resource is replenishable. Everything else in life you can bring it back, but your time is one thing that you cannot bring back in life. And the most valuable thing is, people say time is money. I say time is life. So you value your time, you value your life. Right? My mentorship is for everyone who values that time and who understands the importance that they really want to reach their goals as fast as possible. The first edition, yes, we gave the first edition for free. And over time, we also brought changes into the program as well. So there is also that. That is like the testing. Thank you so much. Any questions? Yes, Deep, Meenakshi. Let me stop recording.